Hello everyone, this time Onerecapped will tell the story of a movie based on a true story about a 21-year-old young mother who becomes a victim of kidnapping for over a decade. How did it happen? Let's watch the video. On a bright morning, Michelle Knight approached her mother, asking for help to take care of her son, Joey, while she looked for a job. She was determined to get a job at a laundromat, hoping to improve their lives. However, her lack of formal education held her back, and the manager rejected her. Michelle came back home late at night to find Joey playing with a bottle of alcohol, with no sign of her mother. To make matters worse, Joey's abusive father appeared drunk, adding to the chaos in their household. This incident raised concerns from social workers who believed that Joey was not safe under Michelle's care. Reluctantly, they took him away, leaving Michelle desperate and alone. Some time later, Michelle shared her sorrow with her friend, Emily. She expressed her hope that Joey would be returned to her within 2 weeks. At that moment, Ariel Castro, Emily's father, arrived to pick her up. With the custody hearing scheduled for that day, Michelle faced another setback when her mother failed to pick her up. Lost and desperate, she approached a store clerk for directions, but to no avail. That's when Ariel appeared, offering to give her a ride. Desperate to make it on time, Michelle, feeling helpless, reluctantly accepted Ariel's offer. Ariel assured her that he could get her to the courthouse within 10 minutes. However, as they arrived at the trash-filled driveway behind Ariel Castro's house, their conversation took a strange turn. Ariel started talking about his mating dogs and suggested making a quick stop so Michelle could bring joy to her son with a puppy. Michelle hesitated, unsure of the situation, but Ariel insisted that it wouldn't be a hassle. Reluctantly, Michelle agreed, unaware of the danger that awaited her. As Ariel parked his car, he pointed out the dogs in the backyard, which was filled with filth and the smell of gasoline. These warning signs went unnoticed by Michelle, whose mind was solely focused on regaining custody of her son. Ariel convinced Michelle to follow him inside the house, promising to show her the puppies. As Michelle stepped inside, Ariel swiftly closed the door behind her, trapping her inside. Without wasting any time, Ariel attacked Michelle, tightly binding her with a rubber tourniquet that constricted around her neck. He mercilessly beat her, shattering her glasses in the process. Michelle struggled to break free, but Ariel's grip was too strong. In an effort to justify his actions, Ariel made up a story about his wife leaving him. He insisted that Michelle should stay with him for a while. Michelle, desperate to escape, revealed her true age, 21 years old. Ariel reacted angrily, tearing up the photo of Joey that Michelle was holding. To silence Michelle's cries, Ariel stuffed a sock in her mouth and taped it shut. He also threatened her with a pistol, warning her not to try to escape. As a final act of cruelty, Ariel hung Michelle from the beam he had installed, leaving her in a painful position. Hanging for over 24 hours, Michelle's body ached, while her mind spun in a whirlwind of fear and despair. Meanwhile, her mother, unaware of the danger her daughter faced, called the police. However, their efforts to locate Michelle proved inadequate, assuming that she may have run away to avoid trouble. When Ariel came and lowered Michelle from the hanging and she harshly fell to the floor. He then shoved a burger into her mouth, as if it was an act of kindness. However, any help offered by Ariel proved to be short-lived. He dragged the helpless Michelle down the stairs to the basement, where Ariel took advantage of her for the first time. He mocked her, implying that he would pay her with $12 for her services. After that, Ariel tied Michelle to a pipe in his house, confident that no one would find her there. Ariel silenced Michelle with a sock and covered her head with a motorcycle helmet, effectively muffling her screams. Unaware of the suffering happening beneath his feet, a neighbor visited Ariel's house. Calmly, Ariel engaged in conversation with the neighbor and enjoyed the noodles provided by them, while descending downstairs to exert his control over Michelle. Throughout the days of her captivity in that house, Michelle always imagined the happiness she could share with her son Joey, just to keep herself going and to eventually escape from that place alive one day. As Michelle endured the horrors of her captivity, the outside world continued to move forward, oblivious to her suffering. Ariel's brother paid a visit, bringing along his daughter, Emily, and their nephew. Unaware of her father's actions, Emily expressed a desire to go to the room where Michelle was being held. However, her father sternly forbade her. Fueled by desperation, Michelle began banging her head against the wall, a desperate attempt to attract attention and escape from her captivity. However, her efforts proved futile. Ariel approached Michelle, berating her, and cranked up the volume of the music, further isolating her from the outside world. As night fell, Ariel began to feel pity for Michelle and gave her a puppy, perhaps as an attempt to redeem himself for his cruel actions. Michelle, desperately in need of affection, accepted the gift, finding a small comfort amidst her suffering. The next day, when Ariel was working as a school bus driver, he stopped by Michelle's house to unlock the chain on her body. Believing mistakenly that luck was on her side, Michelle saw this as an opportunity to escape, took the puppy, and quietly went downstairs. Freedom seemed so close, but it turned out to be a crushing illusion. It appears that it was just Ariel's trap to test Michelle's obedience. Ariel, who was waiting for her downstairs, immediately stopped her and attacked Michelle along with her pet. Michelle seemed devastated after losing her pet, while Ariel brought home another young girl, Amanda Berry. Amanda, realizing the danger of her situation, attempted to escape. However, her efforts were in vain as Ariel struck her unconscious and took her to the basement. The news of Amanda's disappearance spread throughout the city, as she had been missing for 4 weeks. While the search for Amanda continued, Michelle faced the horrifying reality of her own pregnancy. Michelle's body underwent noticeable changes, and she couldn't hide it from Ariel. When he inquired about her weight, Michelle revealed that she was pregnant. Ariel's reaction to the news was cold and cruel. He did not want Michelle's child and was determined to terminate her pregnancy. Days turned into weeks, and Michelle remained in prison for a staggering 10 months. Her thoughts were consumed by her son, Joey, and the uncertain future that lay ahead. Her determination to survive grew stronger. Amidst this despair, Amanda Berry began to open up to Michelle. They started planning their escape, knowing that their only hope for freedom was to work together. As Michelle and Amanda plotted their escape, news of another young girl, Gina DeJesus, going missing sent shockwaves through the city. Ariel, responsible for Gina's disappearance, joined a community meeting and expressed his support for Gina's desperate mother. Back at the place of confinement, Ariel cruelly taunted the girls by showing them news coverage of the search for Gina. He gleefully informed them that he had locked down the house, ensuring there was no way out for them. After 3 years of captivity, Amanda received news of her mother's passing, and in the following year, she gave birth to a daughter. Despite the makeshift delivery and the threats from Ariel, the baby was born healthy and safe. They named the baby girl Jocelyn. As the years of captivity went by, Ariel's health started to decline, and he also faced financial difficulties. This led to an escalation in his erratic and abusive behavior, causing even more distress for the captive women. Amidst this chaos, Amanda emerged as Ariel's servant, taking on the role of his wife. They raised their daughter, Jocelyn, together, while Michelle and Gina remained Ariel's pleasure slaves. One day, Ariel came home with a pizza he found in the trash. Amanda, who hadn't tasted fresh food in years, shared a piece of bread with Michelle. This small act of kindness served as a reminder of their humanity and their determination to survive. As Ariel's financial difficulties worsened, he went out to search for food. He left the door unlocked, unaware that this would lead to an event that would end the captivity of the women. Amanda, who was unaccustomed to freedom, saw an opportunity to escape. She hurried to the door and began screaming for help. A neighbor, hearing her cries, rushed to assist and broke down the door. At that moment, Michelle and Gina hid as the commotion was caused by Ariel. But finally, the long-awaited moment arrived. Michelle immediately hugged the police officer who entered their room. They were taken out for the first time after 10 years of torture and despair. The women finally regained their freedom. They reunited with their families and began the process of healing from the trauma they had endured. As Michelle adjusted to her newfound life of freedom, unlike the other girls, she lacked a caring family, leaving her alone and lost. On that day, FBI agent Solano offered assistance and guidance. Michelle also formed a friendship with a nurse at the hospital, who gifted her a new pair of glasses and helped her readjust to the outside world. As Michelle struggled to overcome her trauma, she couldn't bring herself to forgive her mother for not searching for her. Despite the setback, Michelle found joy in simple things, like taking a shower, brushing her teeth, and seeing the world clearly through her new glasses. She also found comfort in occasional meetings with her friend Gina, who had been an invaluable source of support throughout their captivity. As Michelle prepared to leave the hospital to testify in court, she delivered a powerful testimony about her harrowing ordeal and called for a life sentence for Ariel Castro. Michelle believed that the death penalty was too easy for Ariel, who should spend the rest of his life reflecting on his crimes. Ariel Castro was sentenced to 1,000 years in prison, but he ended his own life a month later. Meanwhile, Michelle wrote a book about her experience, which became a bestseller and concluded her journey. Michelle's story is a testament to the resilience of the human spirit. It reminds us that even in the face of unimaginable adversity, we can find the strength to heal, grow, and build a meaningful life.